Kala 16, the 6 symbols of Vedantic Exposition, a brief compilation, and the introduction is beginning with this. Now this 16th chapter in a way is like a small minuscule Vichar Chandrodaya. Small minuscule Vichar Chandrodaya, which has lot of Sanskrit shlokas embedded into it, and some of these are from, again, origin is Upanishad only. There is no other bank from where these things are coming out. Smritva Advait Paratmanam Shankaram Paramam Gurum Tatparya Samvidde Vakshe Shruti Shadalinga Sangraha. Epitomizing the non-dual absolute reality Brahm, offering differential obeisance at the hallowed feet of Adi Guru Lord Shankara, meaning I commence the explication on the highest wisdom revealed in the Shrutis through his concise text called Shri Shruti Shadalinga Sangraha. Now this is called Mangalacharan, that is where a very auspicious treatise is given. It's like glory singing of the Guru and glory singing of, in this it is Lord Shankar. And it says that this is the explication of the highest wisdom as it is revealed in the Shruti in the Vedas. And through this concise text, this is a small text called Shri Shruti Shadalinga, and I offer this to the Adi Guru. Shankar is, Mahadev is called the Adi. Adi means the first or the foremost or the primordial. Shankar is the Guru. So I offer this small booklet to Shankar. Vishaya Sakti Manasta Prameyasta Sanshaya Brahma Chatvaraha Pratibandha Seyur Gyāna Dhādasya Hetavaha. Attachment to the sensory gratification obtained from the material world. This is the meaning of the first Vishaya Sakti. Manasta prameya samsta sanshaya brahma, meaning doubting the pramāṇa evidence, that is the Vedantic scriptures, which are the means of acquiring the highest knowledge. Now, what are the obstructions? Is listing now one by one. Third is doubting the prameya. Prameya is the object which we want to know. Now, prameya is the object, pramāṇa is the senses, and pramāta is the mind. It's another word given to the antakaran, that is pramāta. Pramāta, pramāṇa, prameya. So pramāta is the antakaran which has the reflection of the Brahma and is knower. And how will it know? Obviously through the senses of cognition. And then externally will know the objects, but internally, when we say prameya, then over here the prameya is not external object, but where the external and the internal words are not even applicable, and that is to the existence of Brahma. Viparya, deluded knowledge. These are the 4 obstacles hindering firm conviction in gyāna. Now, I hope and I really believe that out of these 4, the second, doubting the pramāṇa evidence of the Vedantic scriptures, I hope is not applicable on all of you, right? Doubting the prameya, I don't think so you have any doubt about that. Now, what is the trouble is 1 and the number 4. 1 is attachment to the sensory gratification, so material world. 4th is Viparya. Viparya is the opposite knowledge. You are Atman, but you don't see yourself as Atman. You see yourself again and again as a body-mind unit. Here you listen all, but then you forget. Here you listen all. Why? Why is that happening? It's like, see, I can give you a small demo. I can afford to do that, I hope. I might spill some. See, this is a nice, beautiful, silvery bag. Nice bag. But in this bag, I wish to pour water. Will it stay? Huh? Here is the bag. Where is the water? I want to now see this as gyāna, which I am giving you, and see this as your mind. Here I am pouring it. I am pouring it, and it's just getting. No usage of that, right? So the Viparya, seeing body mind as self, is the biggest Viparya. So you have to work on this. The number 1 and number 4. Adyasya vinivrittihi syad vairāgyādi chatushyayat shravanena dvitiyasya mananatatiyasya cha. The first obstacle is removed through vairāgya. Which first obstacle? Will go by vairāgya. And related practices. The second obstacle is eradicated through shravaṇa, listening to the master's exposition. The third can be eliminated through manana, when you contemplate again and again. Dhyanena tu chaturathasya vinivrittir bhave dhruvam purva purva nivritya naivottarottara nashanam. The fourth obstacle is Viparya, which can be certainly eradicated through nidhidhyāsana. However, without the eradication of the first 3 obstacles, the fourth cannot be eliminated. There is no way. Now see, you have the sensory gratification which is in your mind. And with this mind you do the listening. No use. With this very mind, you try to do the manana, no use. Now, how will you remove the fourth? Impossible. So, there is a method to that. Yeah, there is a method to that. So, the Viparya, which it can be eradicated only by nidhidhyāsana. But nidhidhyāsana is not possible if you have not done 1, 2, and 3 steps. Vishya sakti nashena vinano shravanam bhavet tabhyamrate na mananam na dhyanam tairvina bhavet. Shravana is not possible as long as sensory indulgence in worldly objects persist. You see, what does Shravana, why it happens that you are listening and still not grabbing? Because there is an undercurrent of those thoughts which are running at a high speed, which are visible to you once in a while. Please do sit alone without any music or my satsang in your ears, or you looking at something. Just close your eyes and sit down. Just sit down. 2 things will happen. Out of boredom, either you will sleep or illogical thoughts will be running in your mind. Now, it's not that it's only running that time, it's running even now. Because your mind attention is more on me and my words which I'm speaking, and then there is some little bit power of me also working on your mind, that I'm grabbing your mind. Hence, you can't see what's going on underneath. But this underneath of thinking is like obsessively happening. That's why, even after listening to gyāna, people are still agyāni, not knowing still. Why? Because the mind was not cleared of that undercurrent thoughts. Sadness, grief, anger, ego, it's right there. Again, bringing you back to this example. If I pour water in this bag, it won't stay in it. So all the small holes, there are thousands of holes in this bag. Through these holes, all the water just goes away. So see these thousands, maybe 1 million holes or maybe more holes as the desires in your mind. So here you are listening, say, if this is your ear, and here you are listening, the way I poured the water just went out. So here you listen, it just goes away. Just goes away. What to do? And the manana is not possible without shravaṇa. Now see, you have to let go of sensory indulgence, then shravaṇa happens. If shravaṇa happens, then manana happens. And without these three, attaining nidhidhyāsana is not possible. Not possible. Swavarnashram dharmen tapasa haritoshanat sadhanam prabhavet punsam vairāgyādi chatushtayam. By knowing that the swa or I that one refers to is just the illusory body, and by performing actions appropriate to its social class and stage in life, that's studenthood, householder, vanaprastha, retiring from the worldly duties and renunciation, along with observing spiritual austerities like Krisha Chandrodaya vrata, a fast performed where food intake is limited in sync with the waxing and waning phases of the moon, and being devout and compassionate towards all sentient beings, and our virtuous actions which please the Lord and deepen the intensity of vairāgya. So the shloka says that you need, the foremost thing is that this I which you see as now is illusory. So is the all objects of this world. One, that's very important. Two comes is that as per your social class and stage of your life, like if you're a teacher or a hunter or a shopkeeper or a farmer or whatsoever your profession is, they say be honest in your professions. Be sincere in your professions. If you are a studenthood, then be true to that. If you are a householder, be true to that. If you are in a vanaprastha or if you are in a like a sannyasi, then you have to respect that, honor that, and do your duties which are appropriate. Thinking of meritorious and non-meritorious, that's very important. And along with that, they say like practicing certain vrat. Vrat is like fasting. Tat siddha upasanna sangurum brahmviduttamama gyānotpaitya mahavākya natim kuryādi dhittanmukhat. When vairāgya and related practices are perfected, the seeker surrenders at the exalted feet of the self-realized master. See, first what is vairāgya? Then it is the related practices which one should do. Then one goes to the master to surrender. But see, ulti Ganga, it's not happening like that. Absolutely not. And with the desire of attaining gyāna, the seeker listens one-pointedly to the master's exposition on the Mahavakyas cited in the Vedas. As Vedas have explained, taught, Mahavakyas are just one word, two word, that's it. But to understand that one word statement is such a big statement, it's a huge statement. Tat siddhau dvapar bhranti prahanaya mumukshubhi shravanam mananam dhyanam anushtheya phalavadihi. Bhranti prahanaya. How will this bhranti go away? How will we destroy this bhranti? This illusion which we have created in our mind. That cannot go until you have a very deep desire of moksha. Even after one is initiated on the path of gyāna, the mumukshu, seeker of moksha, continues to harbor doubts and misconceptions such as persisting thoughts of duality and being uncertain of the Atma's existence, etc., until such doubts and misconceptions are cleared, which is possible only through the removal of the obstacles mentioned above, the seeker should continue with the practices of shravaṇa, manana, nidhidhyāsana. Until these persisting thoughts of gyāna, of seeing the other as true and seeing yourself as different and seeing Brahm as God knows what this Brahm is. All those misconceptions, all those like, is Shankarji Brahm or not? If Shankar is not Brahm, then is he Ishwar or not? Then, all these doubts, if are rolling in the mind. Or the Guru from whom I am listening, is this Guru enlightened oneself or not? Here Guruji is talking about such great things. Does the Guru has the direct experience about it, or it's just just tongue is wagging and we're just speaking, and even we can do that, anybody can do that, what's the big thing? So all the doubts of duality which are there lurking in the mind have to be removed. Shravanasya prasiddhyaiva bhavatotyai tatha sati dvair moolam tu shravanam kartavyam tadhi dhidhanehe. Only when the practice of shravana has been perfected can one move on to the next two steps of manana, dhyāna. Thus, in order to progress further, shravana is imperative for those enriched with higher intellect. Now see, there is another thing now which they have added. What you should have is, this is not for buddhu, fools. You have to have very good intellect. If you don't have intellect, this means that you are not blessed by the Jupiter. Astrologically, why are you not blessed by Jupiter? Because you were not doing pious actions in your life. That's why your Brihaspati is not well placed. That's why your mind is so fogged up and so dissipated. So intellect has to be there. That is why in this country, a 3-year or 4-year-old child would be taught how to do Gayatri Mantra, would be taught how to practice Trataka on Surya, sun, how to practice Trataka on Deepam, the oil lamp in the home. And small kids were following the footsteps of their parents, seeing their father and mother sitting down and doing the mantra of Gayatri. Small kids would be imbibing that. These days, parents are watching internet, parents are watching films which are nonsense, and this is the environment in which the kids are growing. So forget about doing some mantra chanting or forget about having a greater intellect. They don't have that. Making $1 billion trillion doesn't show that you have a higher intellect. No, it doesn't. But higher intellect is only considered when you have ability to have viveka, to differentiate in between asat and sat, the truth and the untruth, what exists and what is just an illusion. That is the higher intellect. So like physical strength is garnered when you practice asanas and like the exercises, various exercises which one can do to develop your muscles and body and make a very, very strong, lean, athletic body, or very, very strong and muscular wrestler body. It requires 3-4 years of practice. The same goes about the intellect. If you don't exercise your mind with the one-pointed japam and practicing your tratak, forget about attaining higher intellect. And for the higher intellect, now it is not that many people think Gayatri is some Devi, some goddess who will appear and who will address us, and then we will have the... No. It is the resonance of the swara, the sounds of that mantra, which changes the composition of your brain. and makes your various parts of the brain function so well. It's like energizing and creating new circuits of neurons in your brain. And it is like having a better synaptic connections in between the neurons. So that's quite a medical terminology. So mantras are not done to some Devi or Devta. Mantras are basically those sound waves which you are creating to enhance the hardware, this body, and the software, and that is your mind. So mantras should not be seen that if I do Om Namah Shivaya, suddenly one day Shivji will come, and and from where? Where will some Shivji come from? And the truth is, even if that form appears, you will die just by the sight of it. Because it says Shankar will come only after when his ganas have first come, his servants and his. So they are all bhutapret, the ghosts. And the bhutapret will be coming first, and the snakes and the cobras will be coming first. And you who is so obsessed with the minus and I-ness of the body, you won't be able to take that. All that. Even if it is happening in a vision, that vision will be like a more real than the real. And you will run away. Can't do that. But we are not here to have some mind drama happening in. Having those visions are good if it happens on its own, but those visions again are happening as per the conditioning of your mind was done. You saw a certain statue or certain calendar or photo of Shiva, and that was imagination of certain artist. The Shiva in this temple, in this ashram is my creation. I sat with the sculptor and sat for many hours, and finally I said, this is what I want. And he made one statue. He brought it here. I saw it. That's not what I asked you to do. Because he's a very good sculptor as such. He said, now please, one time again, please explain me. I said, okay. I did a second explanation. Then he sat down and took another 3 months to finish this statue. Then again he drove from Jaipur, brought it here, opened a box. The moment I saw it, I said, this is it. This is what it was. Idea was in my head. I gave this creation, how the lips, how the eyes, how the forehead, how the head, how the mudra of the hand, how the legs, what type of legs, what type of cheeks, everything was discussed. We used the statue to pour our love and devotion into it, and we use that idol to create that subtler image through the worship and devotion. So end of the day, the devout is not worshipping that stony statue, but is worshipping that love and that devotion. Well, it's your love, it's your devotion. So I am not into, when will I see Shiva? Oh, forget it. We are using the Om Namah Shivaya mantra because this mantra will create such a resonance that it will kick off all the cobwebs of your mind and make this brain function better so that you can develop the higher intellect, which will lead you to be able to have a better shravaṇa, listening, contemplation, manana, and the nidhidhyāsana, that is establishing into that state of non-duality.